You're tuned in to the weekly Education Pulse, your global classroom for what's making headlines across the international school sector. I'm Sammy.
And I'm Tony. From Kazakhstan to India, from top university destinations to a growing conversation around language learning in state schools, we've got the stories that matter. Let's kick off in Central Asia, where Charterhouse, one of the UK's oldest and most prestigious independent schools, is set to open a new international campus in Kazakhstan.
The new school will be located in Almaty and is being developed in partnership with the QI Group, a local player focused on educational advancement in the region.
This is big news for Kazakhstan's growing international schools market. I think there are now over 67 international schools across the country, with 21 of those in Almaty. And while IB and American curriculum have traditionally been dominating in that space, this move could signal a growing appetite for British education.
And it's also a reminder of Kazakhstan's ambition. The country has made significant investments in education, from STEM development to trilingual language policy. This new Charterhouse campus isn't just about prestige, it's about aligning with a national push for global competitiveness.
From a business perspective, it's a strategic market entry. Kazakhstan is rich in natural resources and has a rising urban affluence, making it a viable location for premium education, especially as more expats and internationally minded families settle there.
Another example of how British school brands are increasingly planting flags in emerging but high potential markets. And Kazakhstan might not make headlines often, but this move by Charterhouse certainly does.
Now let's turn to some celebratory news. Anglia Education has released its university placement results for the class of 2025, and the numbers are nothing short of impressive.
Absolutely. Across North Anglia's global network of over 80 international schools, graduates have received offers from top-tier universities, including Oxford, Cambridge, Stanford, MIT, Yale, and the University of Tokyo, just to name a few.
Total students have secured places at more than 360 universities across 26 countries. And what's notable is that many have received offers in fields like engineering, medicine, law, and AI, reflecting the changing aspirations and priorities of today's global learners.
This isn't just a win for North Anglia. It's a broader reminder of how international schools continue to act as launch pads to the world's most competitive higher education systems, especially with multi-curriculum options and personalised college counselling. Families are clearly seeing the value.
Of course, it bolsters North Anglia's value proposition to prospective parents, strong academic outcomes, impressive destinations, and a network that really does open doors globally.
It also reinforces how university outcomes remain a key benchmark for many international schools. In a competitive market, having this kind of alumni success isn't just celebratory, it's strategic. And let's take a moment to talk about prestige. So Study International just released its 2025 roundup of the most prestigious boarding schools in the world. And some familiar names have made the cut.
No surprise at the top: Eton, Harrow, Phillips Exeter, Andover, Le Rosey, EWC, Atlantic, and Hotchkiss are all there. These schools have long been considered as the gold standard in boarding, whether they're alumni networks, academic rigor, or sheer brand.
And what's particularly interesting, though, is how this list reflects global influence. You've got schools from the UK, US, Switzerland, and beyond, many of which who now have international campuses or sister schools, extending their prestige across continents.
Exactly. Take Harrow or UWC, for instance. Both have expanded into Asia and the Middle East, tapping into demand from families who want world-class credentials without relocating across the globe.
And for operators or investors in international education, there's a lesson here. Prestige still sells, whether it's through brand affiliations, strategic partnerships, or launching satellite campuses. The pool of legacy and reputation remains incredibly powerful.
Especially in emerging markets where premium parents are looking for status signaling as much as substance, and the name on the school blazer still carries a lot of weight.
So while innovation in pedagogy and tech is vital, don't underestimate the enduring pull of heritage in the international school sector.
And now on to British Council, and their recent report, which paints a very concerning picture. Language learning in the UK state schools is declining and fast.
Yeah, we're not just talking about a minor dip. According to the council, there's been a sharp fall in students taking languages like French and German at GCSE level. Spanish is holding up a little bit better, but overall, language uptake is shrinking.
The report also highlights regional disparities, with schools in more affluent areas tending to offer more robust language programs, while disadvantaged schools often drop them altogether due to lack of funding, lack of staff, or lack of student interest.
And what makes this more concerning is the global context. In international education, we talk constantly about multilingualism as a superpower. It's a key driver for cultural understanding, future mobility, and even employability.
And yet, in the UK, which exports a huge proportion of its education brand overseas, the domestic pipeline of students with second or third languages is weakening. And that's not good for future competitiveness.
It's also worth comparing this with language policies elsewhere. Many international schools now require students to learn multiple languages, often as early as age 5 or 6. Meanwhile, the UK system seems to be going the other way.
The British Council is calling for stronger policy support, investment in teacher training, and better promotion of languages as a core part of the student's education, not just an optional extra.
Yeah, in a world that's becoming more interconnected and more competitive, language skills should be a non-negotiable. So let's hope policymakers are paying attention. And we'll move over to India now, where there's a big milestone. Wellington College International School Pune has officially received accreditation to offer the International Baccalaureate Diploma Programme.
A major achievement for a school that only opened a couple of years ago. It was in 2023 when it first opened. Gaining IB accreditation within the first 2 years reflects both rigorous preparation and a serious commitment to academic quality.
It also signals Wellington's long-term vision in India. They're not just bringing the British independent school brand, they're adapting to global demand, with the IB seen as a passport to the top universities around the world.
And let's not forget, this gives families in the area access to one of the world's most respected and challenging pre-university pathways, all within the framework of Wellington College education.
And it's also part of a broader trend we've been seeing. More UK school brands offering the IB, especially markets like India, where families are hyper-focused on global mobility and academic rigor.
Congratulations to all the team at Wellington, a big step forward, and likely a signal of more international school brands integrating the IB into their global campuses.
And now that we have circumnavigated the developments happening around the world, it's time to jump back into our series, The Business Behind the School. So today we're asking a deceptively simple question. Are we spending right?
God, it's not about whether your school is spending too much or too little. It's about whether you're spending it on the right things, in the right way to deliver the outcomes that you promise to parents and your wider community.
Yeah, and too often benchmarking gets reduced to year-on-year comparisons. Did we spend more or less than last year? But internal benchmarking only tells you part of the story.
Exactly. Real benchmarking looks outward. What's your staff to student ratio compared to similar schools? What's your cost per pupil? How much are you spending on admin versus instruction?
Yeah, I actually worked on a project with one school that realized that IT spend per pupil was double the market average, and they weren't getting twice the value. So it's a classic case of cost creep. New platforms added every year, but no audit on what was actually being used.
That's a huge point. Cost creep happens quietly. Software subscriptions, overtime, maintenance contracts. No one notices, but it certainly adds up.
And that's where an operational audit comes in. Every school should, at least annually, do a sweep of spending categories. So your utilities, cleaning, technology, printing, and also your catering.
Let's be clear, efficiency isn't austerity. It's not about cutting corners. It's about optimizing resources so that they're working harder for your school's mission.
Yeah, well said. Some of the most efficient schools aren't the cheapest. They're the ones where every pound or dollar spent is intentional, measured, and aligned to student outcomes.
So here are some signs that you might need to reassess. Your admin team is growing faster than your enrolment. You've got tech no one uses. You're renewing contracts on autopilot, or you can't explain why you're spending on what you're spending.
And look, we know benchmarking isn't always easy, but even a basic dashboard can shine a light on where your budget is going and whether that's still the right place.
The takeaway: efficiency isn't about doing more with less, it's about doing better with what you have.
And that's a wrap on this week's Global Roundup, from language learning to university destinations and everywhere in between.
The international schools sector is more interconnected than ever, and we're here to help you make sense of it all.
If you like what you heard, tap that subscribe button and leave us a comment. We love hearing from fellow educators, investors, and school leaders around the world.
Thank you for watching the Weekly Education Pulse. See you next week, same time, same insights, new stories.